It's a very strange thing to sit down on a chair, set up a camera thing, and say something and put it out into the ether. That's a really weird thing to do. And like a lot of my videos, older videos people watch, I hate that people watch those old videos because that's not how I see stories as I understand them now. I have a way of thinking about stories and now life that is very, very different. It is more likely to be rejected than it is to be accepted. Everyone puts out work. Everyone does their own thing. Some people have dared to claim new knowledge. Is it safer to just parrot what's already been spoken and developed? What am I doing? Am I trying to get attention or noticed on the internet? Well, I quite like my own private space, so it's a very strange thing for me to be doing this. It's a strange paradox because I like being around people, but I also can't stand being around people at the very same time, so I don't know what the fuck that's about. I don't have the most particularly interesting personality or voice. I'm not a chatterbox. I'm very closed off. I don't like people knowing me unless I know them. But I have interesting ideas. I have an interesting way of seeing the world. It doesn't matter if I get forgotten by the world, but I want my work to be remembered. What is my work? When you're thinking of ideas, what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you doing biology? No. Are you doing math? No. Are you doing exploration of some sort? Yes. You're exploring something. You're not exploring a physical terrain. So whenever you explore something, there's at least the potential for a map to be drawn. Because then you can point to it and say, that's where I've been, that's where I've been. Look at all those places where I haven't been. So the question is, when you're exploring these ideas, these fictional ideas, what does that map look like? What is it that you're actually exploring? Ever since the time of Aristotle, but particularly the past 100 years, people have been questioning, what are stories? What are they made of? And it's very easy to look at stories and chop them up from the outside perspective, like a book, the structure of a book or a film or a theatre performance or something, and go, well, that happened, then that happened. You chop up all the little story elements into units, things that make it up. That's not really what stories are. What are you exploring? You might think, I don't need a map to explore my ideas, to explore the fictional ideas or even memories. I don't need a map. I can do it myself. I go to bed and I dream. Don't need a map. Well, it's like, let's say that you had a map, and I don't mean an actual paper map with lines and stuff. Let's say you hypothetically had a map. You knew all of the realms and all of the terrain that you could explore, where ideas will be found. What you call ideas. You go to these places, you see it happen. You hear the thoughts of these people. You hear them speak. You see what happens. You feel what it feels like to be there. Then you come back to this place. You tell people. You write it down. Or you go out and perform it. What would a map look like? And what would be the use of a map? Because those of you who think, I don't need a map. I don't need one. I like to explore myself. I don't want to be told where things are. It's like, that's not what the map would do. If you're exploring, what better thing can you do than to give an explorer a map of all the places they could go? Suddenly opens up the world. They're not just exploring some small space, but they can look and they can say, oh my God, I can go there, I can go there. What can be found there? What can be found there? What will I see there? What will I hear there? We don't have one of those maps. Not for the realm of fiction making and storytelling. That map will show you places you can go. It will show you places you can visit. It'll show you what you might find there. It'll show you the thoughts that people can have. That's one place. It'll show you the feeling. That's another part of the place. It'll show you all sorts of things, all the things that can happen. This place is like a liminal space. You can't really map it out. If you did, it would be the equivalent of like a neural network You can't see it. You can't see the map. You can't see the pathways between memories, but they're there. And one picture, like a picture or a sound, it's like a doorway. And it opens the door and you walk down the path and there you are all of a sudden at another place where it reminded you of. You see something else. You hear something else. You hear exterminate.
We have a message for the human race.
And I watched that. And I heard that sound, exterminate. It wasn't just, oh, the antagonist's here. It was, death is here. It was a doorway to what is to come. And you saw death, and you could see on the character's face, the people. You could see their face. You could see the fear. They weren't just reacting. They were in another place. They were in the future. And they saw what that doorway opened them up to. Death, destruction, tragedy.
I'm sorry, we're dead.
And it brought them to the past as well. They heard that, brought to another place. Everything you see is what it means when you look at something and you go, that's meaningful. It's like, for something to be meaningful, it's a doorway to somewhere else. It takes you to another place. A place that is highly engaging in terms of being human. It's a place where you can experience the dimensions of being human. It's a place where you can experience not just a little bit of fear, but extreme fear, or extreme happiness, or extreme curiosity. That's what all these stories are. We get to engage in all of the dimensions of experience in the most intense and compact way possible. That's what stories do. We get to engage in being curious. We get to engage in being scared. We get to engage in being happy, relieved. We get to engage in not just emotions, but thoughts. We get to engage in atmospheres and being places. That's what the whole immersion level is. It's what stories do. They open up doorways to be more human, to engage in being more human. And you can really see that. You can see that this whole worldview of phenomenalism opens up that way of thinking. And it opens up what it means to think of ideas for stories. It doesn't point you to looking at other stories, chopping them up and seeing what happens when. Seeing that, well, the hero goes there and then they enter the new world and they get the sword and then they come back and get the reward. Or it doesn't point to a 3-act structure or anything like that, because that's not how you experience life. When you open the doors to first-person perspective of human experience, you see how you really explore those ideas. You see doorways. What would those doorways look like if you could hold them in your hand? Doorways to places where things happen, not just anything, but evocative things, significant things, engaging things, scary things, fearful things, happy things, suspenseful things, curious things. What would those doorways look like if you could hold them in your hand? Here's a doorway, and in this doorway, when you look at it, you go to a place where something very evocative and scary happens. You see this type of personality, cold, dark. It's a very evocative thing. It doesn't just have to be personality, bloody anything. Here's a place. This is a doorway to a place that is loud, atmospheric. What happens when there's thunder and lightning? Depends on what that means for you. Sometimes it can mean the gods are coming. Sometimes it could mean cozy night in, but it's a place that you can go to. This is the doorway to it. All of these cards, they're more than just prompts. They're places on a map that tell you there's something here that you can explore. That's my 8 years worth of thinking. It's more than just creating prompts for stories. It's being able to explain it from an authentic place. I can explain it. I can explain what they are, why they're more than just prompts, but why they're doorways, pathways to something evocative, why you would go there. I like to imagine that people wonder how it is that I see the world, because I don't see the world the same as others. I think I think differently. I think differently to people, to other people. You say like, oh, you spend a lot of time in your own mind. You might think, well, I'm up here a lot. It's like, no, I'm not really up here. I can't point to it. Like, where are you when you're dreaming or when you're daydreaming? You can't point to it, but that's where I am a lot of the time. I see shapes. I see the words that I want to say. I don't hear them. I see them. I have an imagination that is so unbelievably vivid. I can reach out. I can touch a tree that's standing in front of me and I can feel it just like I feel like I would feel it in real life. And I can see it. And I can see it more than I see it right now. You know, like you kind of go to that place and this world kind of fades out and then you can see it in front of you. I can hear it just like I hear it. Just like I hear people in this world. I mean, you go to these places and at that point, what's the difference? When you're dreaming, if you've ever had lucid dreams, like what's the difference? It's like to you, your reality, it's the same bloody thing. That's the reality you have to look at. That's the reality where stories emerge. It doesn't matter what is independent and external from you. It's about the reality as you see it. And that's why phenomenalism is the right worldview. Because it acknowledges that there's a world out there. But it says, but from this point of view, it doesn't matter. So who knows if I'll ever see the fruits of my studies. One day I'll put a book out. It'll sit there on someone's shelf. It's going to be a bloody long book. Fuck.